Welcome back, horror fans and curious minds, to another episode of Conspiracies, Lies, and Controversy. Today, we're not just talking about the scary movies themselves, but the chilling stories behind their creation. We're diving into the world of cursed movie sets where real-life tragedies and inexplicable events have haunted productions long after the cameras stopped rolling. And I'm joined, as always, by Ivy and Zoe.
Hey everyone! Cursed is a strong word, RJ. I'm always a bit skeptical, but I've got to admit, some of these stories are pretty wild. It's hard to ignore a pattern when you see it.
Skeptical? Ivy, darling, that's where you and I part ways. I absolutely believe in movie curses. How else do you explain some of the horrific things that have happened on sets like The Exorcist or Poltergeist? I mean, these aren't just one-off incidents, they're patterns of bad luck, accidents, and even death. It's terrifying to think about.
And that's exactly where we're starting today, Zoe. The Exorcist. Released in 1973, it terrified audiences worldwide, pushing boundaries with its raw depiction of demonic possession. But the production itself? It was plagued by an almost unbelievable string of misfortunes.
I remember hearing about some of this. Wasn't there a massive fire on set? That's pretty significant.
Oh, a massive fire is an understatement. Almost the entire set for the McNeil house burned down, just like out of nowhere. The only part that miraculously survived was Regan's bedroom. You know, the one where all the demonic activity takes place in the film. Chills, people, actual chills.
Exactly. The fire caused a 6-week delay in production. The cause was never fully determined, but many crew members felt it was beyond mere coincidence, especially given the dark subject matter they were working with. Director William Friedkin even had a priest bless the set multiple times.
A priest on set? Okay, that's a red flag. If the director felt the need to bring in a clergyman, it suggests he genuinely felt something supernatural was at play, or at least he was trying to calm the crew's fears.
It wasn't just fires, though. There were so many injuries. Linda Blair, who played Regan, suffered a permanent spinal injury when a piece of the rigging broke during a stunt. Ellen Burstyn, who played her mother, was thrown across the room and permanently injured her coccyx. She said she could feel the harness pulling her the wrong way. That doesn't sound like a typical accident to me.
And it gets darker. 9 people connected to the film died during or shortly after production. That's a startling number. Actors Jack McGowan and Vasiliki Maliaros, who played characters that died in the film, both passed away before the movie was released. One of the night watchmen, the special effects expert, family members of cast and crew, it was a constant stream of tragic news.
9 deaths? That is genuinely unsettling. While I still lean towards unfortunate coincidence, when you list them all out like that, it's hard not to feel a shiver. It almost makes you wonder if delving into such dark themes, especially ones involving actual demonic possession, opens some kind of door.
That's exactly it, Ivy. You're starting to get it. It's not just a coincidence. They were literally playing with fire, and with something much darker. Think about the psychological toll that must have taken on everyone involved, constantly surrounded by that atmosphere and then having these real-life horrors unfold around them. It's a miracle anyone finished that film.
It certainly left a lasting impression. Many involved in The Exorcist have spoken about the eerie feeling on set. Max von Sydow, who played Father Merrin, even described the set as having a sinister atmosphere. It truly became a legend, a benchmark for what a cursed film set could be. But then, there's Poltergeist, a film that, arguably, holds an even more chilling legacy.
Ah, Poltergeist. I remember that one being a big deal, especially the rumors about the skeletons.
Yes, the real skeletons. I mean, who does that? Who thinks, hey, for this scene, let's just use actual human remains from a medical supply company instead of plastic props? That's just asking for trouble, in my opinion.
Well, it was cheaper to get real skeletons at the time than to make convincing plastic ones, believe it or not. But yes, the decision to use actual human skeletons in the swimming pool scene and other parts of the film is a huge part of the Poltergeist curse legend. Many believe it was an act of disrespect that invited malevolent spirits onto the set and into the lives of the cast.
Okay, that's a fair point. If you're going to disturb the deceased, you might just invite some unwanted guests. But what really cements the curse for Poltergeist, in my mind, are the deaths of the young cast members.
Absolutely. Dominique Dunne, who played the eldest daughter Dana, was tragically murdered by her ex-boyfriend shortly after the first film's release. She was only 22. It was horrifying. And then there's Heather O'Rourke, who played Carol Ann, the little girl who says they're here. She died at just 12 years old, after the third film, from cardiac arrest caused by septic shock. She literally died during post-production of Poltergeist 3.
And it wasn't just them. Julian Beck, who played the evil Reverend Cain in Poltergeist 2, died of stomach cancer during post-production of that film. Will Sampson, who played Taylor, the good-natured shaman in Poltergeist 2, passed away due to kidney failure and complications from a lung transplant less than a year after the film's release. 4 principal cast members dead within 6 years of the original film's release.
That's an incredibly high mortality rate for a single film franchise, especially involving young actors. It's hard to reconcile that with pure chance. The fact that Heather O'Rourke, the face of the franchise, died so young, after already being ill during the filming of the third movie, is just heartbreaking. It adds a really dark layer to an already spooky film.
It's beyond heartbreaking, Ivy. It's terrifying. And what about Oliver Robbins, who played Robbie, the son? During the clown attack scene, the prop clown actually malfunctioned and started to choke him for real. Steven Spielberg had to rush in and pull the thing off him. Can you imagine? The actors were living out the curse in real time.
That's a testament to the psychological intensity on set, I think. Whether it's a curse or just extreme stress leading to a higher incidence of accidents, the stories stick. The use of real human skeletons is often cited as the primary trigger for the poltergeist curse, a sacrilege that supposedly opened a portal to negative energies.
It does seem like a pretty foolish decision, given the subject matter. It's almost as if they were inviting trouble, isn't it? I mean, from a practical standpoint, it just makes sense to avoid anything that could potentially freak out your cast and crew, let alone invite actual bad vibes.
And I think that's the point, Ivy. Filmmakers often push boundaries, trying to get that authentic feel. But with horror, especially supernatural horror, there's a fine line between creating atmosphere and potentially inviting genuine darkness. It's like tempting fate.
Absolutely. These are just 2 of the most prominent examples. We could also talk about The Omen, where Gregory Peck's plane was struck by lightning, as was a plane carrying executive producer Mace Neufeld on separate occasions, or the helicopter crash on the set of Twilight Zone, the movie that killed Vic Morrow and 2 child actors, or even The Crow, where Brandon Lee tragically died on set due to a prop gun mishap.
The Brandon Lee incident is particularly haunting because of the parallels to his father, Bruce Lee's, untimely death. It's another one of those where the coincidence factor really gets stretched thin. I think the key thing across all these examples is the sheer number of unusual incidents or tragedies. 1 or 2, sure, but a consistent pattern, especially when it involves young lives. That's what makes people believe in something more.
It's the sheer weight of sorrow, isn't it? And the way these tragedies often echo the themes of the films themselves. A film about a demonic child and people connected to it die in mysterious ways. A film about restless spirits and its young stars meet untimely ends. It's too perfect, in a macabre sort of way, to just be random.
So what do we take away from all this? Is it truly a curse? Or is it the intense psychological pressure of creating such dark art, coupled with the inherent dangers of filmmaking, leading to a higher likelihood of accidents and health issues?
I think it's a blend. The human mind is very powerful, and when you're steeped in a disturbing narrative for months on end, the line between fiction and reality can blur. That, combined with a bit of confirmation bias where we look for patterns in tragedy, can fuel the curse narrative. But I can't deny the sheer unluckiness of some of these productions.
I'm sticking with curse, or at least a powerful negative energy generated by the subject matter and amplified by human actions. Whether it's the real skeletons or the disrespect shown to certain spiritual practices, something gets awakened, and once it's awake, it doesn't like to be ignored.
However you interpret it, these stories certainly add another layer of dread to films that already stand as horror classics. They remind us that sometimes the scariest stories aren't just on screen, but behind it. Thank you, Ivy and Zoe, for this chilling discussion.
It was a truly unnerving dive, RJ. Makes you think twice about what kind of energy you bring to your work, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I'll be rewatching these films with a whole new perspective now, and probably sleeping with a nightlight on. Thanks for having me.
And thank you all for tuning in to Conspiracies, Lies, and Controversy. Join us next time as we explore another fascinating and perhaps terrifying corner of conspiracies throughout history. Until then, keep the lights on and stay safe out there.